The Built for Tough Player of the Year Award celebrates the top high school football athletes in Texas across classifications, all the way to the very top in 6A and then down to 2A in all eligible private schools. Each week during this season, one standout is named the Built for Tough Player of the Week, leading up to the prestigious Player of the Year honors in each classification. Hi, my name is Mallory Hartley, and I'm the coordinating producer of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And sitting alongside me is the director of recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and that's Greg Powers.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Ready to talk some 4A ball today?
I am ready to talk some 4A ball.
There's some excellent players on this list.
Oh my gosh, this list is phenomenal. But before we get started here, if you're new here, welcome. We are Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and we've had the authority in covering Texas high school football since all the way back to 1960. And today, our staff has put together the Built for Tough 4A Player of the Year watch list. And Powers, did you know that this is actually the 20th anniversary of the Built for Tough Player of the Week program presented by your Texas Ford dealers?
You know what? It's one of the most prestigious awards in all of Texas high school sports, and some legends have won it over the years. The only question now remains, who's going to win it this year? And that's why we took our best guesses for some players who you might want to watch as the season progresses.
And of course, we won't be able to find out until next year, but it's fun to make predictions, right?
No doubt.
All right, shall we go ahead and get started?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Starting off strong here, let's talk about Frisco Panther Creek 2026 safety. I'm calling him a safety because that's what he's going to college for. And that's Donovan Webb, ranked as the overall top safety in the state of Texas. He's one of the most productive defensive backs in Texas, delivering 234 tackles, 19 pass breakups, and 9 interceptions, Powers, in just 2 seasons. He's an absolute ball hawk who has the ability to play in all 3 phases of the game. And of course, playing alongside 4-star athlete Jalen Lott, I think Frisco Panther Creek could be poised for a big year this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Donovan Webb is an excellent selection because I think he's going to add valuable reps on the offensive side of the ball. And you did the perfect segue into Jalen Lott, who has also been honored as one of the picks in this. So Panther Creek is blessed to have 2 tremendous athletes on their squad who could potentially pull home this prestigious award at the end of the year. Lott, of course, is one of the most sought-after recruits in the country. He'll put his talents on full display for this team that should be playing and expects to be playing after Thanksgiving. He's a nightmare at wide receiver, but he'll also be an absolute ball hawk at corner, and they do plan to use him on the defensive side of the ball. He went for over 1,100 yards last year, was the overall offensive MVP from the state 7-on-7 tournament, and is fresh off of his commitment to Oregon. These dudes both can play. It'll be interesting to see because they have a little bit of, I guess, a rivalry on their own team, right?
Yeah.
Could it be a Heisman situation where they steal votes from one another? I don't think that's how it works in Texas high school football.
No, I don't think it does either. But I do think it's really cool that they do play both sides of the ball because I think at that point you're making a strong case to say, hey, I play on both sides of the ball here. Like Frisco Panther Creek also poised to have a big year.
Right.
Why not give it to me? So they can have that kind of a rivalry. I think is kind of cool.
Boost your profile, and it's the team that just has a great offense because I'm a big believer in quarterback Graylin Fry. I just think they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. Moving on here. This player doesn't need an introduction.
No, not
Everybody
much.
knows who this is, especially if you're a follower of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and that's Celina 2026 quarterback Bowe Bentley. One of the most dominating performances by a quarterback I have seen in a state championship in a very long time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he threw 5 touchdowns, and I think he only attempted 12 passes in the state championship game. So that's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
When you're talking about putting up big plays on the biggest stage. And, of course, he was on the gatefold cover of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine. Head coach Bill Elliott says in his 32 years, Celina has never had a quarterback like Bentley, and that's counting his own son, Nathan Elliott, who was one of the best quarterbacks in program history. Can he follow up last year's 16-0 perfect record and hoisting the state championship trophy at the end of the year with another title? They graduated some really key players up front, some really good receivers, so a lot of that's going to fall on his shoulders. So if they do win it all again, then Bowe Bentley's name's definitely going to ring out loud.
Celina is the preseason #1 favorite.
And of course, Bentley's committed to Oklahoma. So, I mean, the Sooners got a huge piece to the puzzle down here in Texas in this year's class.
Absolutely. Moving right along here, we'll talk about Silsbee 2026 running back Jacaleb Johnson. I remember when he came onto the map a couple years ago, and that was back when Silsbee had Draylen Miller,
right,
of course, playing at the college ranks now. But he kind of had to step up because I believe that Draylen got hurt at some point during that season, and then Jacaleb had to kind of step up.
Draylen battled through like a knee injury throughout the end of the year, so Jacaleb used that basically as his springboard to get into the spotlight here in Texas. And last year, he did replace Draylen Miller as Silsbee's main weapon. They went 9-4 last year, but they finished the season extremely strong, eventually getting bounced out of the playoffs by Waco La Vega, who went on to compete for a state championship in AT&T Stadium. Johnson's moving to quarterback in 2025, where he'll have the ball in his hands every play and will operate behind one of the top offensive lines in all of Southeast Texas. So he's going to have plenty of chances to shine. And of course, he's committed to UTEP, and the Miners did a tremendous job of evaluating this 6'2", 200-pound athlete who could honestly play multiple positions at the next level.
Another guy on this list that's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit during this season, it's Carthage 2026 running back KJ Edwards. Another guy that really doesn't need any sort of introduction. He is electric on the field.
Is it fair to say 4A's loaded? I mean, I feel like every one of these names is like a true banger. Like if you were putting together a music playlist, like all of these would be in your top 10.
Yeah.
KJ Edwards was my pick, so I'm a little bit proud of this one. He was named our Offensive Player of the Year in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. The Texas A&M commit has already piled up 4,030 career rushing yards, 54 touchdowns. He was the offensive MVP in last year's 4A Division II state title game. And I think his electricity is what makes him different. He's a guy who, I mean, he's not a bruiser, but he runs hard in the middle of the field, and then he has the speed to escape to the outside and make things happen. Carthage is going to ride KJ Edwards, and of course they've got a good quarterback to take the pressure off in Jet Surratt.
Oh gosh, I think Carthage is just loaded all over the field. You got Carson Crawford on the other side of the ball too. Yeah, I mean they are just Junior Henderson at wide receiver, just an absolutely loaded roster led by KJ Edwards.
No doubt about it. And KJ Edwards is like one of the most fun players. He's must-watch TV. If you were to watch a Texas high school football player, you ask me who you should watch, I'm putting KJ Edwards and Jermaine Bishop as my top two guys. You got to watch these guys play.
Absolutely. And to round out the 4A Player of the Year watch list presented by your Texas Ford dealers, it's Waco La Vega 2026 wide receiver Jabari Thornton, and you got to talk to him at the state 7-on-7 tournament and kind of catch up with him.
And you got to watch him. He's impressive, right?
Oh, yeah, he's very impressive. No, he passes the eyeball test.
I did some media recently on one of the Oklahoma State radio stations, and he was one of the first guys I mentioned. They've got some good Texas commitments in this class, but Thornton is one of those guys who quickly passes the eyeball test. Listed at 5'11", 175, 180 pounds. He looks like he's 6'1", 190 easily right now. So, I mean, he's a big dude. He had 1,470 receiving yards last year and 15 touchdowns, which makes him one of the most dangerous returning receiver weapons in the state. The DCTX Rising 100 member is committed to Oklahoma State, but there's still other people that really want to try to flip him. He's one of my true flip candidates. He remains solidly committed, but I think as this season unwinds itself, a lot of programs are going to try to get him to convince him to rethink that pledge. It'd be interesting to see if Mike Gundy can hold on to him.
He's got a fun personality too. During on that Friday of the state 7-on-7 tournament this year, I was watching a Waco La Vega game. I was down on the corner of the field filming, and Jabari was lined up, I think on defense, and the coach for Waco La Vega was calling a play or something, and he looked back at the coach and he was like, I don't know what play that is. And then he looked to the opposing sidelines where like the other players and he goes, I don't know what he's calling. And they were all like talking. It was so funny, but it just kind of shows, like, speaks to his character. Like he's a man of the people, and you can tell that all of his teammates around him respect and love him as a player.
I'm going to say that he probably played man coverage and they didn't complete the pass.
I think that's exactly
that's just my guess. And that just adds another wrinkle to his game. He can flip over and will add defensive reps at corner. They've got a really talented team with a lot of skill athletes, but Jabari Thornton, of course, is the star of the show.
All of these guys are the star of the show.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think you're also the star of the show.
I appreciate that, Mal.
You're welcome. A star-studded 4A watch list that our staff at Dave Campbell's Texas Football has been able to put together. But of course, only one will come out victorious next year. Who will win the 4A, Built Ford Tough 4A Player of the Year, presented by your Texas Ford dealers?